Ladies and gentlemen, episode 24 of Austin Ollie, a sports podcast. Luka knew it was the Kobe episode, so he dropped a Kobe-esque performance a couple nights ago at the team that traded him and drafted him on the same night. Dropped a quick 75. We'll talk a lot about that. There were some football games, I think, that happened this weekend. And this big artist give a big smooch to one of the best tight ends to play the game. Some Ranger news if we get to it, mostly basketball. We both decided to attend a game. My record stays 1-3, terrible. I'm just going to stop showing up to games. And Austin, I think, is 1-0.
1-0.
I started just like you. Believe it or not, it was 1-0 for me, too.
So that means I gotta quit while the getting's good. Gotta quit. Quit while I'm ahead.
Yeah, or you can go and try 3 more games and see who's better. But, yeah. So, guys, Austin Ollie Sports Podcast, like we said. Go ahead and follow us on the social medias. Instagram, Austin_and_Ollie. TikTok, Austin Ollie. Watch us on the YouTube. I try hard, man, because I shower and stuff, and then I make sure my hair looks good. And believe it or not, I find it so tough to find a shirt to wear.
Yes, hey, that's a big deal. That's a big deal.
If you guys are watching, for all those 10 viewers that we get in every occasional 20, 30 when we got the World Series win, I was shirtless sitting here, and then Austin goes, invite sent, and I'm like, fuck.
Yeah,
let me put it in my closet because I looked at it and I'm like, I've worn that one, I've worn that one, I've worn that one, I've worn that one, I've worn that one. Do I want to wear that one?
Yeah, I did the same thing.
I go through it and I'm like, damn, what do I want to wear?
I did the same
thing. Because it's
thing.
gonna be for clips and stuff. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a hoodie on and I was like, damn, I realized I think I was wearing that last week. I gotta take that off. Let me put something else on.
Yeah, you think about it. Yeah, you think about it for sure. That's funny.
But what'd you get into this weekend? Anything cool?
Let me think. Friday was chill. Just had people over. We were just playing pool.
Yeah.
Caught up with some old friends because he lives in Chicago now, and they didn't leave my house at 5:30 in the morning. Time went
crazy.
by. We were just chopping it up. And I'm
that's the best kind of night though. That's
bro,
the best
it was
kind of night.
3:30, and I'm like, okay, you guys got to go home. I'm just trying to go sleep, whatever. 3:30 turned to 5:30, and I went to bed at 6. And I was like, God damn. Yeah. But it was a good time. Just chill, pool vibes. Saturday, went to the gym. I actually decided to watch a movie. I think was Saturday. I never sit down and watch movies.
Okay.
I like watching movies. I like watching movies. Yeah, it's making time, and just during the week, get home kind of lateish. Either we do this or working on something else from work, gym, food, whatever. And I just feel like it's terrible saying this. I feel like I'm wasting my time sitting there watching a movie. But then I'd rather just be on my phone, wasting time on my phone or playing video games. So stupid. But I watched The Covenant with Jake Gyllenhaal. So I haven't finished it. There's 45 minutes left. Because I left early to go.
That's is that the military? Is that the one military one?
Yeah.
Where he has
Have you seen it?
Yeah, he has the guy with yes. That's a good. We saw that in theaters. That's a good movie.
Dude,
it's a good movie.
It took me this long to watch it, dude. I love Jake Gyllenhaal. Like I said, I just haven't really watched anything. But it was getting good, and there's 45 minutes left. But then my mom was like, "Hey, we're going to your uncle's." I said, "Okay, cool." And that same night, it was Chicharito's conference, his presentation. Yeah. So then my uncle was like, "Let's take shots." I said, "Okay." So got me ready. I went out to Dallas that night with some friends from the university, and then my cousins. Yeah, we were chilling, and we ended up somehow at 0-1 again. Don't ask me how.
Bro,
we ended up
you love that place.
No, it's not that I love it. It's just Raul was bitching that he wanted to go again, and I was like, "All right, bro." We literally said last weekend that we can't come every weekend. It's a every now and then thing. And when we were at before, it was my type of bar. It was chill, people our age.
Little dive bar.
Bro, the DJ was bumping, dude. He was pumping that shit. And I look over at Raul, and he just seems very sad. And I'm like, dude, you don't have to be dancing with someone the whole time. I'm having a blast right now. But Saturday and then Sunday, watched football. Went to church, saw football all day. It was a long day, low key. I was almost falling asleep at 7 o'clock, and I was like, I can't do that.
Yeah.
And that's my jam-packed weekend.
Getting that old man schedule.
Oof, no, stop. That's why I stayed up. I was like, I can't do that. Can't do that.
Yeah. Man, I'll tell you what, your weekend was more entertaining. I feel like married life, all we did was just run errands, looking for a place to live. That's pretty much it. That's all we've been doing. So
way to rub it into all the listeners, guys. Austin's married. If you're single and not married, your life sucks. Clearly is what he's telling us right now.
I mean, I feel like you're doing way more. You're doing a lot more fun stuff than I am. I promise you that much.
We're about to have some fun. Don't worry about it, though. We're about to have some fun.
Yeah. Maybe.
I'm gonna have some fun. Don't
Maybe.
stop. No, stop.
Maybe.
Don't say the maybe. Don't say the maybe, bro.
I don't know. We'll see.
Just get on, bro.
But
Just if you got nothing else to say, is that
anyway,
all you got to say from your weekend?
that's pretty much it. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Damn.
So anyway,
Yeah.
Dallas Mavericks got a superstar on our team.
Yeah.
It's pretty fun. Ollie, you want to tell us a little bit about the Suns game, your experience there? Unfortunate loss by 23. So
We got smacked. Yeah.
Yeah.
What
was that last Tuesday?
It was
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Yeah,
Wednesday, right? Yeah, it was Wednesday. Wednesday. It was a good time. With some friends, we were watching the game. It was fun because we came out hot. We were shooting at least like 70% from three. We were like 7 or 10 in the first, like, I don't know if the first quarter or like going into the second quarter too. Like we were just dogging on these guys, and I was even telling them like, dude, we hit threes, like we're on it, blah blah blah, and we're up by our biggest lead was 16, so we blew a 16-point lead that game. They cut it close at the second quarter. I remember we got up and there's like this little like this like a bar area, like a club in the section that we're in. So we went back there. We just got up and like I met up with other friends that were there, chill, drink a little bit, and like we missed like maybe 2 or 3 minutes of the third quarter, and I look up and we're down by like 12 or 14. And I'm like, oh, okay. So we're back to our seat and we're just getting obliterated. Nothing was really going our way. Everybody was missing shots. It was Kyrie's first game out. It was like right before. I think it was his thumb that he's messing with.
Yeah, he has like a thumb sprain or something like that.
Yeah, and then Luka dropped his casual 34 points. Tim kind of tried to help the team out with 17. Devin Booker dropped 46, but no one gave a fuck. I didn't give a fuck.
No.
What pissed me off was that we took our starters out, and I saw him score like I think like 2 or 3 buckets still, and I'm like, why are you still playing? Like everyone else is out, and you're over here stat padding against the bums. And that's what pissed me off. If I didn't like Devin Booker enough already,
that's understandable. There's something about I think it stems from the playoff series in the Western Conference Finals year where we just blew that whole series, right? That went to 7. And I think just I never really had a problem with Devin Booker, but then you sit there and you watch him for a 7-game series like that, and you just see his whining and just all that, like, and then just how I want to say, like, I guess they were just so cocky that whole series and just shit talking the Mavs and all that stuff, and like just rubs you the wrong way. So, and I was listening to a podcast. It was probably last week, and they were talking about how in the NBA it feels like the great rivalries are kind of gone, like because everybody's so friendly, and with like the social media age, like everybody knows each other, stuff like that. And they were like, well, the only exception is the Mavs and the Suns, because it feels like both those teams just genuinely just hate each other. Like you can tell Luka just anytime he plays against the Suns, like just hates it, hates Devin Booker. Like just they don't really seem that they vibe or anything like that. So definitely sucks to have a game like this. Just almost an embarrassing loss. I mean, it is an embarrassing loss. I mean, but to a team that is probably the biggest rival that we have in the league right now.
And also, I think, like you said, watching them that 7-game series, and especially against your team, you start to notice players. Like for us, for a while, it was the Clippers. I mean, you could still put the Clippers on there because we were just matched up against them almost like
every single
playoff is what it felt like. Exactly. So you tend to see those guys, and the only guys you could really think about that you hated on those Clippers team, it was Montrezl Harrell for sure. That's a guy that
Montrezl Harrell. I hated Zubac too, because Zubac, I feel like Zubac always played really well.
Dude, it's just funny. Batum too. That guy pisses me off too.
Yeah,
Nicholas Batum. But yeah, no, stuff like that. Watching them for a 7-game series, and especially against your team, and then calling like Jalen Brunson soft and this and that, and then knowing that you get the last laugh obviously does help you a lot. So that's good. But no, like you said, I mean, even then, there's rivalries and stuff, or I mean, like it's died down. Even though you say that the Mavs and Sun is one. Iffy kind of. I mean, it still gets televised nationally. Like Luka dropped that however many points on it was the Christmas game, right?
Yeah, I think it was 50 on Christmas. 50 on Christmas.
Yeah, it was 50 on Christmas, and you can definitely tell that he was passionate about it, like he wants to beat them. But so nothing like it was before. Definitely nothing like it was before. So
no. So moving, I guess before we move on, I do want to talk about the Suns, because I think that the Suns are a team that once they were hurt for a really long time. Sorry, this is kind of stemming away from the Mavs and kind of more just in a general like NBA discussion. The Suns were a team that were hurt for so long. Like I don't think their big three really has played together that much between Beal, Booker, and KD. And now you're starting to see that, the three of them are back, and Grayson Allen himself is almost shooting 50% from three.
Fuck Grayson Allen, bro. Fuck
I know.
That guy.
Yeah, and so it's crazy because like you see them like they started out pretty. I think they were outside the play-in for a while, and then that was like when Bradley Beal was hurt, and then now they're just stringing together wins. And I think the Western Conference in general is just so tight that you can just see like one loss moves the Mavs. One win would move the Suns, would move them up to the 5 seed, or a loss would move them down to 8. So, like, I think just in general, the Suns are a team that's hot. They're playing really, really well, and it's a team come the playoffs you kind of want to stay away from. But, yeah, definitely. I guess just kind of more general comment on the Suns and then the Western Conference as a whole. If you got anything to add.
Yeah, Western Conference is crazy.
It's stacked, dude.
I guess maybe it's always been more tough. They always say that, and I agree to that.
Yeah.
The East is low-key always kind of been weak, but I feel like the last few recent years, at least with the Mavericks, it feels like the same way. So like, there's the top three is usually always solidified. Like you have your guys like right now, it's a Timberwolves, Nuggets, Thunder, all either 33 or 32 wins, and then it's Clippers, and then Clippers 30, and then there's the Kings. There's like a 3-game gap of like 27, 27, 26, and so forth. So it always feels like the top four to get the home playoff game. All those games are always super close. It's always competitive. Like you can drop from I think it was that Sun series, or when we played the Jazz in that same playoff run. It was like the same thing. It was either you're fighting for 4, and if you lose, you drop down like 5 or 6. Yeah. So it definitely was a big for seeding and stuff like that. So it feels like it's been like that for a long time at least.
Yeah, I know. So and there's a lot of good teams, and honestly, like the Timberwolves, Nuggets, Thunder, like I don't even know if those are the best 3 teams in the West at this point. Like the Clippers, they started out so bad, and then now, you got James Harden, you got Paul George, you got Kawhi, they're clicking. The Suns are clicking.
Yeah, same with them, with the injuries,
and even then, like the Nuggets, just won the play-in, or just won the NBA championship last year. And they're just like, you'd never hear anything about them. They're casually just sitting in the 2 seed, just kind of doing their thing. So yeah. West is a strong conference, man. It's a strong conference. But back to what I was talking about. Mavs on Friday night, Luka decided to drop a casual 73 on 76% shooting. Went 25 of 33 from the field, 8 of 13 from 3. Kind of surprising in terms of Luka. He went 15 and 16 from the line.
Yeah, he missed one.
Mavs, ended up with 73 points, which was tied for 5th all time in a single game, or something of that nature, 4th. And somehow the Mavs still only ended up winning by 5, which is kind of crazy to me.
Needed every single bit of that, man.
Yeah, and I want to say that Josh Green and Luka Doncic combined for the second most amount of points in the game, behind Kobe and Smush Parker back when Kobe dropped 81. So fun little fact there.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? Josh Green, out of all guys.
Yeah. But I think to me, one, it's obviously right. You got to talk about Luka with how, just unbelievable line, and just the incredible efficiency that he did it with. He missed 8 shots, 5 of them were threes, and other than that, like just absolutely balling. And he still had 10 rebounds and 7 assists. So it's not like he wasn't looking to make a play. He was just on one,
Yeah.
I think the one thing that I had that was negative about this was Embiid had scored 70, a couple days beforehand or something like that.
Yeah.
And, they were all the national media was talking about Embiid, like basically just glazing Embiid and all this stuff. And then all of a sudden, Luka scores 73, and it's, oh, well, the NBA doesn't play any defense anymore. The defense the Hawks were playing was absolutely pitiful, blah, 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 blah. Just the same old. I feel like Luka just, in terms of national media, is one of those guys that just doesn't get the appreciation and the love that I feel like he deserves.
It's crazy, dude.
It's crazy to me. It doesn't make any sense.
They have a terrible agenda against him. I know I saw one clip of, this is like a bunch of like youngsters are gonna use this like, oh, Luka 73 points didn't count because it was like one play where like, he like dribbled through 3 guys like fucking cones and just fucking got a
Yeah,
layup in. I mean, but you got to watch the game. And then another thing that people always say is that he doesn't get his team involved, and that's the reason why they don't win.
which
And
is
I'm like,
crazy to
one,
me.
just say. I was like, just say you don't watch Mavs games.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
crazy.
I know how Luka plays, or we can both say how Luka plays or how Luka looks, is because obviously we watch Mavs games. I'll be honest. Like, I'm not gonna go out there and talk about another player that I don't watch on a consistent basis.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
I just don't. The only time I'll see them play is when they play against my team. But for you to say that Luka doesn't get his team involved, and look at the starting lineups and the bums he has to deal with.
Yeah.
In the past few years, like I was watching the game yesterday only because I placed a sport bet. Okay. I was watching the Hornets play. I was watching the Hornets play against the Knicks, and then Frank Ntilikina popped up on my screen.
Yeah,
I'm like,
absolute
Luka
fraud.
Was in the playoffs with this guy,
and he was a significant
Reggie
contributor.
Bullock, dude, was a starter. Played 40 minutes for us almost on a daily basis and would get 0 points. How many times? He was a starter, and he can't even get minutes on the Rockets.
On the Rockets, yeah. I mean, Dorian Finney-Smith Dorian Finney-Smith
Look at
was
Dorian
a significant...
Finney-Smith. Look at Dorian Finney-Smith. Everybody was butthurt about that trade. Like, oh, you should have kept Finney-Smith. I still think that trade was better off for the Mavericks, getting Kyrie Irving, obviously.
100%.
But that's a different story to talk about.
Dinwiddie. Yeah. Dinwiddie, too.
And Dinwiddie's... Yeah, I mean, Dinwiddie's been like... He had his thing here, but Luka makes players better. You have to see how wide open he gets them.
Oh my!
Especially in the Hawks game. Did you watch the last couple of minutes of that Hawks game?
Yeah, it's okay. So
because he's getting triple teamed. He's getting triple teamed. Like, they finally started full pressing him, and he gives the ball to someone else, and they probably lost it or they can't handle the ball. So and so. There was a play where he drives to the paint. He could have got the layup, and he was already or he could have got the jumper, and he was at this point 70 points, I think. So if you're saying that he's ball hogging and he doesn't like getting his team involved, there's just one. Dishes it to Josh Green because 2 guys are on him and they both jump. Dishes to Josh Green, misses the open layup, and Luka's pissed. He's furious.
There's so many times when you watch the game, you can tell he makes the exact right play, does what he does, pass the ball, and then whoever it is, I think it was last night, Josh Green, Luka's same kind of deal, right? Drove to the basket, took 2 with him. Josh Green was wide open. Instead of taking the pull-up 3, Josh Green dribbles, puts the ball back on the floor, puts it up for just a long 2, clanks off the rim out, and then Luka's just sitting there just bitching at Jason Kidd, telling him to take him off, bitching at Josh Green, and it's just because, just all this stuff, it feels like we don't have high basketball IQ players on the team, other than I would say Luka, Derek Lively, and Kyrie.
Derek Lively, yeah.
I don't know, and I want to put Tim in that conversation because he's been our third best player all season.
Tim pissing me off, but he pissed me off in that first half. He pissed me off in that first half last night.
He makes me so mad, dude.
He looked goofy, and then he turned the fuck up in the second half. He's so streaky, dude. This is why
it makes me so mad.
We'll probably get to it, but trade pieces, I just don't know what to do with him.
Yeah. Okay. I guess anything else on that Hawks game?
Nah, man. Just it's crazy how you don't respect Luka after a performance like that.
Sense. It makes no sense.
You hadn't seen one since this is the highest point since Kobe, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, we haven't seen anything like that.
That's not fucking easy.
Yeah. So
talk to us about how your front row experience was. You're welcome for the tickets, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Before we get to that, they played again on Saturday. Lost to the Kings 120 to 115. Luka at 28, 10, and 17. Grant Williams surprisingly kind of went off, which he hasn't really done much lately. He's been a cardio player out there. But 27 and 8, 7 threes for him. Lost by 5. It kind of was a come back down to earth moment, I think, for the Mavs. I mean, Jaden Hardy went 1 of 7. Luka 9 of 26. It's kind of pretty inefficient all the way around.
Mm-hmm.
I think we shot 34% from 3. And so I think I saw a stat that was when the Mavs shoot below 30% from 3, they're own 11. When they shoot better than 37% from 3, I think they're 11 and 1. And then when they shoot between 30 and 37% is when, they're what would that be fucking 10-10 or 10-15 or something like that.
Yeah,
so
I mean, we live or die by the 3 ball. You should know that. Yeah,
which is crazy. Yeah, which is crazy. I mean, and as a team, we shot 44% compared to the Kings shooting for 54%. So just shows that like this as a team, I think the Mavs is just so streaky. But
yeah,
I don't really think. I mean, the Kings are a pretty good team too, so not really.
no, they're a good team. I mean, they have size with Sabonis. Oh, you saw there. I mean, 17 points. I mean, you got double with 11 boards. You had Harrison Barnes get 20 points, and he hasn't been playing that well, and he's old as shit.
It's
but
crazy.
He got himself 20
crazy.
points. Got himself 20 points, and then Fox got himself 34. I mean, that's just a good team. They're
a good team.
We talked.
I think they're the 6 seed right now, or the 5 seed. I think they're the 5 seed.
The Kings, yeah, they're fifth seed.
Fifth, right?
But they have a damn good roster. So I mean, when you go against a team that struggles in size, I mean, that's what's going to happen.
Yep. So, moving along. So I was in attendance last night, Monday night, against the Mavs and Magic, and I was honestly like going into the game, right? I was worried because the Magic have size. I think their starting lineup is they have Cole Anthony, who's 6'4", and then everybody else is 6'10" or 6'11".
I saw a tweet about their closing lineup, and they look fucking massive.
Ridiculous. It's massive, and then you see it on the court. And
I can't even imagine.
It's like up close and personal. It's crazy. And so obviously, right, I basically had the reverse experience of you, where the Mavs for you came out super hot, and then all of a sudden you like go away at halftime, and then they come out and they're just cold. Well, for me, the Mavs just could not. One, they couldn't play defense. They couldn't shoot the ball. I think the lone bright spot in the first half was Jaden Hardy. I think Jaden Hardy was hot.
He was crazy.
Threes. He honestly was kind of keeping the Mavs in the game, which was massive. But you could tell like Luka was frustrated. He kind of like wasn't on the same page as everybody else.
They were shutting him down at the beginning.
Yeah,
I think it's Jonathan Isaac. He was on him.
Yeah.
What doesn't make any sense. All up on him.
What doesn't make any sense is I didn't realize it until this morning, but Jonathan Isaac ended up only playing 8 minutes last night. 7 minutes.
Well,
so
okay, I was like, because you know his story, right? He was a former first round. He was a former first round pick. He was supposed to be very promising. He has dealt with like a lot of season-ending injuries.
Yeah.
And I think he started the game, and you see when he played 8 minutes.
Yeah, he was a starter. Yeah, he's a starter, and he played 7 minutes. And it was crazy because it felt like anytime he was on the court, I mean, in 7 minutes he was plus 15.
From what I was saying, he was making Luka struggle because he has like those arms, his length, and everything.
He's long, and so that's what I noticed. And then all of a sudden, he just like didn't play. So it makes me wonder if maybe on the broadcast it said he was hurt or something like that. I don't really know. But anyway,
my God,
it was just like it was cool to see because this is the first game I've been to in probably a year and a half or so in person, and like to see Luka like just take over a game like that is unreal. And then like Tim, like we had just said, man, he's so streaky, and he really didn't do shit in the first half, but man, that's the second half he was unreal. And that's where to me it's possible that like I don't know if you can trade him, because I think he's so integral to what the Mavs do, and they need somebody like that to be able to say, all right, when it's just Luka, they need somebody that has that opportunity to be able to get hot and to consistently get hot. And I mean, he just put a casual 36 up last night, like 36 on 11 of 17 from the field, 5 of 9 from three, 9 of 11 from the free throw line, and that's as a starter when he's a 6-man. Other things that I noticed yesterday. Derek Lively, absolutely unreal. He's a monster on the boards. God. He's big. He's him. Physical. I think him and Luka. Yeah, his chemistry with Luka, you can tell. Like even though it's been barely half a season, like they're gonna be crazy, especially with just the alley oop threat. I think that he's gonna be able to have.
Future's bright, dude. Future's bright.
Yeah. And I think that he. I want to say him and Luka have the most combined alley oops this season at like 27, maybe.
Oh, I'm not surprised.
And I think he broke his nose. I think that shot that he had in the face by who was it?
It was Wendell Carter.
Wendell Carter. Yeah, Wendell Carter. Ended up breaking his nose apparently, so he's out tomorrow. But to be able to go in, shoot what was it? Those 4 free throws with a broken nose, and then to basically put the game away with the alley oop was awesome.
Oh, dude, that alley oop from when I was watching it, I was just like, dude, he's probably let his fucking there. I think that's
crazy, dude.
Like definitely like the best game this year that I can think of. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean,
it might just be recent memory. I'm trying to think of like another game at American Airlines Center, specifically like that close, and definitely I think the first game where, like you said, like if you probably from the beginning were like, this is gonna be a shitty night, it's gonna be a terrible night.
Yeah, it sucked.
And it just got. I mean, they were up by 16. They cut down a 16-point deficit.
I mean, the fact that they
fucking it up.
In the third quarter, the Mavs outscored the Magic 35-12. I mean, just to
dude, their defense was insane. I think they were.
Yeah.
They started like 0 for 8, 0 for 7. I think the Magic did in the third quarter, and then ended up like, I don't know. I mean, obviously, only 12 points at 35 is crazy.
Yeah, and so that was just unbelievable. One thing that I do want to mention too is, okay, you have one. Dwight Powell looks ridiculous. He with those fucking goggles, bro.
He looks like a dog.
He looks so he looks so ridiculous. And when I saw him come in the game, I was like, bro, what are we doing? Because you saw him like he was like getting ready to come in, and you saw those goggles that he had on his face. And then while he was on the bench, he had like the warm up top with the pants, and he had like have you seen those little like back warmer things on?
Like the ones that it kind of like massages or it like heats up your back.
Yeah. So he had that on, and his like shirt was tucked in, and this dude looked like such a bum. And I was like, please do not put him in.
Looks like a bum, plays like a bum, must be a bum.
He came in, played 1 minute, and Jason Kidd said, all right, go ahead, sit on the bench, big dog. But two people I want to shout out is Grant Williams and Maxi Kleba. They, on the stat sheet, you really don't see it. You really don't see it at all. I mean, they combined for 4 points, 3 rebounds, and two assists. And that's in 28 and 22 minutes combined. But their defense, both down the stretch, was it was. I mean, it doesn't look like it because of their their plus minus. But I mean, Grant Williams was just being an absolute dog on defense. Maxey was out there like defending on the perimeter as a 6'10" power forward. Like, I feel like they both were just really, really impressive on the defensive side. And between Luka, Tim, Lively, Jaden Hardy, like you just didn't need them to produce on the offensive side, so that's fine. Jalen Green, I think that he's probably the tradable asset that we got to get rid of if we want to.
Josh Green,
Josh Green, sorry. And I don't know. I mean, that was maybe it's just one game, and obviously I think with the Hawks game he had 20, but I mean he was cold from the field.
He's been really playing. Look like I mean, if you look at from his last couple games, 2, 11, 21, 8, 14, 13, 9, and 18. Point wise, he's super inconsistent. But I'm not gonna lose sleep if that's one of the guys you trade.
That's definitely the guy. Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, I feel like it's either. I think it's gonna be Rashawn Holmes and then somebody else. And personally, I think that if it were between Josh Green and Jaden Hardy, I think I would rather give up Josh Green. I don't know.
Oh yeah, it's easy.
I think last year you saw what Jaden Hardy can do with extended run, and then even last night, like that dude was he was cooking. And I think the
thing is, if you want something in return, I think Hardy has to be the one to go. Because I don't know what the NBA executives or GMs
view of
Josh Green.
Yeah, but that's fair.
I mean, I could tell you that they probably think Jalen Hardy down the stretch is better, contract-wise too, because he's cheaper. And
I mean, but he's also getting ready. I think he's due for a contract next year after next season because I think this is.
Is it?
Yeah. So I mean,
he got drafted what? 2 years ago?
He got drafted last year. He was a rookie last year. So I mean, no. So he probably has 2 more years.
I don't know how NBA contracts work. I was like, I don't know how NBA contracts work.
He probably has 2 more years. But I mean, still, like, I just think that he's starting to develop his playmaking side. I mean, 2 games in a row, he's had 7 assists. Against Portland on January 5th, he went 19, 9, and 9.
It was close to triple-double, yeah.
Yeah, I think that especially with Kyrie around, I think he's in the perfect scenario to where he doesn't have to produce that much. He doesn't have to be a primary ball handler because Kyrie's here, Luka's here. I think he's him and I think he's super valuable to keep around. And I think let's say in 2 years, right, he takes over the Tim Hardaway role. I think that's extremely, extremely important and a valuable piece to keep around. So
no, I definitely see that.
that's I think all I got Mavs wise. You got anything else?
No, it's just they're 26 and 21 now.
Yeah.
7th in the West. They're 4-6 in their last 10 games. That's including 3 straight L's to the Lakers, Celtics, and Suns.
Yeah.
How do you feel about them right now on a scale of 1 to 10?
I still think that I think at the beginning of the season we had mentioned that, I could see them being probably 3-4 seed, trying to get that playoff, like a playoff home series. Yeah. I don't know if with the West and how it is, I don't think that they have the size to keep up with Minnesota. They don't have the size to keep up with the Nuggets. Oklahoma City, I think, is fine. I think they're better in a playoff series in Oklahoma City. So, I would rather match up against them. I don't want to match up against the Clippers. I don't want to match up against the Suns.
Nope.
So, I think realistically, success is, avoiding the play-in, getting the 6th seed,
Yeah.
I think is probably realistic. 5 seed at best, I think, this year. And then just hope to win a playoff series, which I think is kind of what we had said anyway. I think if you win a playoff series, that's probably realistic for them. Obviously, right? Like Derek Lively's still young; he's got to develop more. I think he had 4 personal fouls last night, maybe 5. So still got to figure out.
He was flirting with around it. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's still got to kind of figure that out. And just the supporting cast. We kind of know that. Like it's so inconsistent on. Luka's going to get his 25 a night, 30 a night. But, you don't know if Tim Hardaway is going to shoot, go off for 36, or you don't know if he's going to go 1 of 12 from 3. So, it's super hard to expect this team to be consistent, especially with, Kyrie's been hurt a lot of the season.
Luka, even the whole team hasn't stayed healthy. Like, right when it looked like everyone's going to be healthy, Dante Exum went down, or Derrick Jones Jr. went down, so... Yeah. I'm giving benefit of the doubt that, give it a couple. I don't know how long everyone's going to be out for. Maybe like the next 2 or 3 weeks. Yeah. And this team can hopefully go out full strength, and maybe we can reevaluate this team. But as of now, I totally agree with you. You want to get out of the play-in tournament. And I feel that can be a realistic goal, being top 6.
Yeah, I think that's the must.
And then the highest I think they can go is 5. They'd really surprise me if they go top 4 at this rate.
I agree. Yeah, I think.
But again, we can reevaluate when everyone gets healthy. And you better hope that Nico and Mark don't just sit on their hands at this trade deadline.
I don't think that they're going to do anything is the bad thing. Rashawn Holmes is like the biggest, for a salary matching point, like Rashawn Holmes is the guy. Contract, yeah. And he's not really that valuable. It's not like we have picks to trade. I don't even think we have a pick in the draft this year. So, yeah, I think that you kind of just have to get some of these contracts out and let some of that stuff expire and kind of run its course. So kind of the way it is, and yeah, I think that's that for me at least.
No, yeah, I got that. Yeah, so again, we'll see. Mavs got some games coming up. Let's see who they're playing, but most importantly, they need everybody to get healthy. You said Luka, Kyrie, Derek Lively are all going to be out tomorrow or today if you listen to the podcast today. So. Don't bother watching that game. It's against the Timberwolves, so I can't imagine what the spread's going to look like, or just how that game in general is going to look like.
It's going to be... spread is 13.5 right now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, for an NBA game, is crazy. That's like 13.5 in the NFL. Okay, this is fun. Timberwolves, Bucks, 76ers. Yeah, so the next 3 games.
Even if you get, so it's Timberwolves, Bucks, Sixers, Nets, Knicks, Thunder. That's the next 6 games, and that's aside from the Nets,
if you can win 3, I think they can win 3.
Yeah, I think they beat the Nets. I think they beat the Thunder at home. That's 2, and I think that they can beat the Sixers maybe. I don't know.
If
I mean,
Embiid's
because
out,
Derek Lively's hurt. I mean, because he broke his nose. So who's to say how long he's going to be out? Jesus. They
Okay.
might beat the Bucks at home. They might beat the Bucks at home.
I see that. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't
Let's
know.
go. Let's go ahead and talk about some football that's happened this weekend. How about that? Let's do
Yeah.
that.
So yeah, obviously the Super Bowl is coming up in 2 weeks, a week and a half. The Chiefs ended up winning the AFC Championship, while the 49ers ended up winning the NFC Championship. Both of us, I think, predicted the NFC champion, which isn't really too surprising, I don't think, with how you saw it. The Chiefs, I mean, just kind of been that buzzsaw in the playoffs. It's hard to stop. I think Mahomes was 9 of 9, 10 of 10 to start the game at least.
Start the game, yeah.
Yeah, just unreal. So obviously some different circumstances in each game. Who do you think who's lost hurt the most? Obviously I feel like Dan Campbell had some questionable decision making in the Lions game, but which one do you think hurt more, the Ravens or the Lions?
For me personally, I think it's got to be the Lions, just because you were up by so much. What was it? 21 10?
21-10 or 21. No, they were up. Yeah, it was 21-10, 21-7, something like that.
21-10, I think, going into the half, if I remember correctly. But you had the game. Brock Purdy looked fucking horrendous. And fuck him, dude. He got all these lucky ass passes, dude. He got deflection off the fucking helmet. The one that he threw across to I forgot who else, like Superman, did, like caught it up in the air and just
Was it IU?
No, I think it was Jennings. I think it was one that Jennings caught. But it was just everything was going their way, and then obviously everyone's talking about the what ifs for Dan Campbell. I mean, he didn't if it wasn't trusting his kicker, but I mean he didn't change anything different. He stuck to his game plan all year. They're the most aggressive team on fourth down, which they consistently did it. I mean, they convert those. We don't even talk about it. There was only like one play call that was bad. It was one where Jared Goff tried to throw to Amon-Ra St. Brown. It was like maybe 5 yards away from him. Couldn't reach it. You missed Laporta in the end zone. He was wide open. Gibbs fumble. Obviously, that fucking hurts. You can't blame that on him. I think after the game, even I was blaming him. I was like, dude, why you got to take the points against these good teams? But, I mean, you knew him in the sideline. We saw him with the Cowboys where how many times did they get penalized and get thrown back? And he was still going for the 2-point conversion. He just kept going out there. Could have just got the points. But I guess so that kind of just validates it. He stuck to his game plan that he had been doing all year that got him into the NFC Championship game. But obviously, I'm pretty sure he's thinking like, damn, we should have taken the points against the best team in the NFL, probably. Yeah. I mean, they're in the Super Bowl now, but yeah.
At that point, like those like fine margins of you have to be ballsy at some point, but still you have to know like, hey, just take what they give you. And especially in these, high leverage situation with, NFC Championship, AFC Championship, Super Bowl, like stuff like that. It's always going to be, okay, well, you go for it and it works out. Wow, he's got balls. Good for him. Like that's what he gets for trusting his team and all that. And say they don't go for it. Wow, it's gutless. Blah 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 blah. And so, yeah, I agree. I think the Lions themselves, it hurts because of they were up how they were. What was it? Chauncey Gardner Johnson was like waving goodbye to the 49ers fans in the second quarter. Just like stuff like that where they just shoot themselves in the foot. It sucks. But I mean, also on the Ravens side too, to have all this expectation. There's the tag hanging over Lamar that he can't perform in the playoffs, and that when stuff like that happens, they're gonna fold. So that sucks too. But I think you're right. I think Detroit, it hurts them the most. They're both their coordinators might have been getting poached. I think the offensive coordinator ended up saying that he's going to stay, but their defensive coordinator is still possibly of leaving. And when you have teams like this that get to a Super Bowl run or NFC Championship run, like that's the big point in the cycle where they're probably going to be losing guys from their contracts are up, or they're not going to get paid what they can keep. And unfortunately, that's kind of is what it is.
Yeah, and then I mean, teams are never gonna be the same. I mean, we repeatedly say that with the Cowboys. It's never gonna be the same exact team again. But I mean, if you were to tell me that you were to hold Patrick Mahomes to 17 points, right, in the playoff game,
Yeah, 17.
17 points, and you held them to the defense, props to the defense, they held them to nothing the whole second half. They scored no points. And they offense just couldn't get rolling. I mean, unlucky for Zay Flowers,
Zay
obviously a
Jones? Yeah.
rookie. Zay Flowers, he was trying to be a superstar. I mean, he is a superstar, will be a superstar in this league. I love that pick for the Ravens and looked like he fits perfectly with Lamar Jackson and the Ravens offense. And he tries to extend for a big play. I mean, big players make big plays, but obviously you look at it again. I mean, he extended out
Do you need to take the risk? Yeah.
Pretty early. And then again, I mean, the whole offense, they went away from their game. They were a heavy rush offense. I mean, you know that with Lamar and all we talked about it on the podcast last week.
Yep.
They do their rushing game is insane. Justice Hill, Gus Edwards, and they had Dalvin Cook, right?
It's crazy because like you look at the stats. I mean, they only ran the ball for 16 times, but they still averaged.
They got away from the run. Yeah, and they got away from the run, and that's what got him there. And I forgot what the tweet was, but I think Harbaugh is undefeated when their team rushes for a certain amount of times, and they didn't reach that rushing quota. I just don't know why they went away from it. And you said like it wasn't like, hey, yeah, they were only averaging 2 or 3, they're averaging 5 yards a carry. Yeah. And defense did all they could. They stopped, they got the ball back, and then Isaiah Likely puts his hand up like he's fucking wide open and thinks he's that guy, and then
he's not
triple coverage. I mean, blame Lamar too for throwing it, but I mean, you probably see a hand up and you go, I bet, release it, and you're like, oh shit. Okay, 3 guys were all up on him. But yeah, it just hurts. I was rooting for the Ravens. I mean, everybody was rooting for the Ravens because it seems like the Chiefs are the most hated team on the planet right now with the whole Taylor Swift situation and stuff like that. That's what we can get into later. At the end, yeah, Chiefs and Niners Super Bowl. I personally don't have a problem with the Chiefs. Yeah, I'm obviously rooting for the Chiefs. But I know a lot of people are starting to think that they're unlikable and stuff like that. But I just can't have the Niners win. I have way too many people that are Niner fans.
I think that,
and
as a Cowboys fan,
to have a Super Bowl ring.
Oh my God, no! I as a Cowboys fan, I think Niners winning the Super Bowl is the lesser of the two evils for me.
To let the AFC team win it.
I will say one of my favorite memes of the weekend was like the Chiefs versus the Niners Super Bowl. It was like Hitler versus Stalin. Like that poster.
Yeah.
I just thought it was funny. But anyway. But yeah, man, that's it for the main items that we have. And it is now time to get to the new segment that debuted last week of the Big Three. 3 big stories that we have from the week. Just gonna give some general takes on it, stuff like that. May not be Mavs, may not be, big stuff. Just happens to be just whatever's going on. First big story that we have going on is that the Baltimore Orioles are being sold to a billionaire owner. I want to say for just over $1.2 billion. Mm-hmm. Obviously, they were very good last year with their, I don't want to call it Moneyball. I would call it more like develop their own prospects kind of guys.
Yeah. Really young team.
Now with the idea that they have the super young team, they have, Jackson Holiday coming up, still hasn't even debuted yet, with, was it Gunnar Henderson and Adley Rutschman?
And yeah, Adley Rutschman, and then there's that other guy who has a really weird last name that just got called up too. They all look the same. It's fun. They all have the same just like profile. It's crazy. Yeah. And they're all fucking dogs at baseball, so they know what to do.
Yeah. But does the new owner, do you think that gives them a better shot to be contenders, spend a little bit more money than they have in the past?
I think so. Like you said, they got super far. They got 100 wins, and they lost to your World Series champions, by the way. They got swept. Right? Swept. Yeah, they got swept. They got swept. They lost their 2 games, and they lost here. They already have a young, promising team. And obviously, they're not satisfied, and they still have one of the better farm systems coming in. And like you said, Jackson Holiday still hasn't even debuted, and he's one of the biggest prospects.
I think he's
in a
the
while.
number one prospect.
He's the number one prospect, and he's I think going to be playing in the majors this year. So that's gonna be exciting. And he just got drafted
2 years ago.
2 years ago, I think he's the Jack Leiter. I think he's the Jack Leiter draft. So 2 years ago, and for him to be up this high already, I mean, genes from his dad and stuff like that. So I definitely don't think the owner's obviously doing something, knowing that it's gonna be a really good investment for Baltimore. They're not satisfied at all with what they did last year. Obviously, they're happy about it, that they got the step in the right direction. But now, what are they missing? What are the key pieces missing? I mean, that's how you do it. I mean, we wouldn't spend money. The Rangers spent money. Obviously, Corey Seager, Marcus Semien, your most expensive middle infield, but obviously paid off. So they're going to look at their pitching was really good too this year, but they're going to look at it and go, okay, what can we do to make this team better? It might not even happen this year, just so because there's not that many crazy free agents at this point now.
Late.
It's been really dead too. I mean, Cody Bellinger just doesn't find a team, but it looks like he's going to sign with the Cubs. Montgomery still hasn't found a team. Don't know if he's coming back to the Rangers. I don't know what he's going to do. Blake Snell still hasn't found a team. Yeah. And after that, I mean, just kind of a bunch of and like Justin Turner, a DH, just got signed to the Blue Jays, and I was hoping the Rangers could sign him because they're still looking for a DH. But
we got DH. We got a DH.
Wyatt Langford.
Justin Foscue, if you don't want to say Wyatt Langford, but it's gonna be Wyatt Langford.
Dude, he's gonna have to have a crazy spring training. I cannot wait. Less than like 2 weeks, and the pitchers and catchers will be reporting, and baseball will be almost back. By the way, guys.
Yeah, crazy, crazy.
Yeah, I think this step in the right direction. Obviously, I mean, I like the Baltimore Orioles. They're a never hateable team. I love their youth, and they really prospered it and really like put that out there for them. And obviously it worked. I mean, 100 wins, but inexperience comes in. Rangers come in and just blow them out the water. But they already had the fan base, which I loved. I mean, you go back to that playoff experience they had, everyone waving their orange flags, everyone going crazy. So it's exciting. It sucks that it's in the American League. You don't want them to do too well.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. We still got the World Series. I ain't worried about it.
We still got the World Series, and we still got another one to win this year. That's all I gotta say.
Facts. Yeah. Well, that was number one. Now, number two is, as we had previously kind of mentioned, the Taylor Swift Super Bowl. Does that make the Chiefs unlikable? Personally, I think that it's the lesser of two evils to me. I obviously have a little bit of bias as a Cowboys fan. I think that I would rather the Chiefs win a Super Bowl than, that fraud Brock Purdy win a Super Bowl, than the team that's knocked the Cowboys out of the playoffs 2 years, not this year, but last 2 out of the last 3 years win a Super Bowl. So yeah, which is crazy. I'm not gonna lie, I'll bop to a Taylor Swift song every now and then. And I think, Travis Kelce is a likable guy. I think it's just Patrick Mahomes is starting to become unlikable. That's what I'm going to say. Personally, if you really want to
elaborate. Elaborate.
I just think that his Kermit the Frog voice, it's like Steph Curry. I think it's like Steph Curry, right? Like where Steph has that. He's an outstanding player, unreal, kind of always allowed, like when he's playing, he's always going to have a chance for his team to win, and he's had a lot of success. But it's starting to get to the point where it's too much success, and you have to look at that one guy that is causing the success. So, like, it's not like I don't hate the Warriors. I mean, obviously, right, when they brought Durant and they have Draymond doing whatever Draymond does. But, like, at the end of the day, like, my problem's with Steph Curry because he's a good player. It's the same thing with the Chiefs, whereas the Chiefs are likable. They're a likable, relatively likable franchise. Like they're, they have a good fan base. It's not like Andy Reid is just an absolute douchebag for a head coach, like Nick Sirianni.
Oh yeah.
It's not like they have a ton of talent. It doesn't feel like around Mahomes because like they don't have a number one receiver that is like proven on the big stage. I mean, obviously, right? They have Rashee Rice that's been balling. He's been playing really, really well in the playoffs. But they don't have that guy. They don't have. I mean, Isaiah Pacheco's a good running back, but he's not somebody that you would consider a top 5 running back in the league. can you name aside from like Chris Jones on the defensive side of the ball? They don't have like a big marquee name on defense. So you look at the one guy that is making like it feels like makes them successful. It's like, damn, like can Mahomes just stop doing what he's doing? So that's
Dude,
why I think
it's insane. I even said
it's
if he goes
super impressive.
Think about it. I mean, he has won so much already. Still to win more. And for him to make it to the Super Bowl again, and you just pointed out all those things where he's got a decent running back. Who say decent? He's a decent.
Yeah, he's a good running back.
Or above average running back.
Absolutely.
Rashee Rice, not even like best receiver, but he's been a good addition. Yeah, it's been a good addition for them. Started blooming late for sure, but I mean, you got the Kadarius Toney situation where supposedly they're faking the injury because they're just like, man, fuck out of here. We don't even want you touching the field.
Yeah,
we gave you your shot. You had McCole Hardman make that big play at the very end. Valdez-Scantling, right? They have Valdez-Scantling, right?
Yeah, Valdez-Scantling's back.
Yeah. And I mean, you look at it, and during the season, they looked atrocious. And no one was still able to knock him out. The Bills couldn't do it. He went on and said, you know what? Okay, I'll do this on the road. If I didn't prove my worth already, winning he has 2 Super Bowls?
Yeah, already has 2.
2 Super Bowls, and they've gone to the AFC Championship, or to the 4
They've gone to the AFC.
Years?
I think they've been, and they've
been AFC champions for 4 out of 5 years.
Yeah, and the fact that, they hadn't not hosted the AFC. This was the first year in 5 years that they hadn't hosted the AFC Championship. Yeah. It's unbelievable.
First time he went on the road.
And
he's doing this, though, with the bum ass as a team. Traded away Tyreek Hill, debatably the best wide receiver in the league. Definitely this year.
Yeah.
And he's still doing what he's doing, and he led his team to a Super Bowl. And if he wins it, I think undebatably he's the best ever. Like, I'll say that.
Ever already?
Ever.
Nah. Yeah. He's still got a bit to go.
Go.
You can't. What do you
with this team, dude?
You forget that Tom Brady won a Super Bowl with the lacrosse players as wide receiver 1.
Yeah, because his fucking defense carried him all the time, and you just said there's no good defense. Is what?
I'm just saying.
I'm rooting for them. Go Chiefs.
Yeah.
I can't believe you said you bopped to Taylor Swift stuff. I know you're married and stuff, and Emily probably listens to it.
Bro,
but
okay.
I haven't listened to her new shit. Like back then, Romeo and Juliet,
I'm just saying,
all that shit. I know the lyrics.
No, I'm not the one that's. I will say I don't go out of my way to listen to it, but when it's on, I'm vibing with it. It is what it is.
Okay, that's crazy for you to admit that. I mean, you're.
Nah, why would you not?
You're better man than I am. I'll tell you that.
She's about to make $1 billion not $1 billion, $4 billion off this tour that she's on. 4 billion with a B. Personally,
you pocket watching?
Yeah. $4 billion is crazy.
Okay, I'm just mad it's not me.
Yeah.
And okay, the thing that did piss me off that's making them hateable is that ESPN. Did you see the ESPN slideshow that they posted about her?
No, what they post
with her concert, because she has her tour ends in Tokyo. And they were like, for her to make it to the Super Bowl and watch Travis Kelce, she'd have to do this. And it's like the time difference works in her favor because Tokyo is like 16 hours behind, and she'd still be able to make it to Vegas the day before and see Travis Kelce play in the Super Bowl. I'm like, dude, why?
That's the biggest thing that I have a problem with. My
future job hopefully is to work for like a company like ESPN, Bleacher Report, something in sport. And if my super goes, hey, you know what I need you to post today? Go through Taylor Swift's last thing. And you're going to make a slideshow. Okay, you're going to post it on Instagram for the Swifties. I'd probably look at them. I'd do it. I mean, I have to do it. I mean, what can I say? I have to do it. I got to do it.
Engagements.
That, and then there's the video, obviously, with, the video with Travis Kelce and Mahomes messing with my boy Justin Tucker stuff. I didn't fuck with that.
Oh, yeah.
I think that was cool. But, hey, I mean, it's football. So, some grown-ass men doing it.
Tried to... I saw that Mahomes said that he tried to blame it on Justin Tucker, and that Justin Tucker was the one that started it. So,
well, from what it looks like, I'm pretty sure everyone has their own like warm up area.
Yeah.
Baltimore was home. So maybe Justin Tucker was like, you know what, I'm gonna go fuck with them, right? Because like, why would they be on the same end? Because I know kickers sometimes and stuff like that. They kind of like,
they do their thing. They kind of bop around, take up a lot of space.
yeah. So I don't know how that went, but yeah, I mean, I saw that and I was like, oh, okay. I mean, but other than that, I mean, I don't think they're hateable. If they win it again, I'm not gonna be like, damn. It's not like when I saw the Patriots and Brady winning it. Like if this is the dynasty, I'm nothing against it. So
that's fair.
Go Chiefs.
That's fair.
Go Chiefs.
All right.
Go Chiefs.
And then the last big story of the big three is that NBA All-Star Weekend is coming up in, I think, 2 weeks or so. And the All-Star starters, as voted on by the fans, players, and media, were announced. And I want to see if there were any big snubs. So from the West, the All-Star starters are Giannis, Joel Embiid, Jason Tatum, Tyrese Halliburton, and Dame Lillard. From the East, do you feel like there's any big snubs? I think there's only one that I can think of that probably, maybe two that had a shout. But yeah, what about you? Do you have any ideas?
I know you left us, but I'm still a big fan of Jalen Brunson.
Yeah, that was one of the two that I had. Him and Dame are probably like the biggest like borderline, I think, that you could say.
Dame threw me off a little bit. I haven't seen nothing too crazy from him, to be honest. I mean, he's the second star in his team, in a super team, and they're the only. Yeah, they're the only team that had two
All-Star
starters.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you don't win it, it's kind of sad.
I will say that it came to. I want to say Dame and Jalen Brunson were tied on like the number of points through the metrics.
And I think fan voting got him in, right?
Yeah, fan voting was what put him in. So to me, it's surprising that Dame, like being in a small market like Milwaukee, was able to get in over Jalen Brunson, who's in the biggest market in New York City.
New York, yeah.
Yeah, and it's crazy to me that the fan voting was what put it over. But I mean, I guess Dame kind of has that more like superstar name than I think Brunson does. Yeah. So I think other than that, that's kind of my big. That's probably the only one that I can probably argue with. I think Tyrese Halliburton's had an unbelievable year. The Pacers are a fun team to watch.
He deserves it. Yeah.
I mean, Tatum is playing well. Even though I'm not the biggest fan of Jason Tatum, but he's been playing well. I mean, Giannis and Embiid, kind of self-explanatory. So
yeah,
there's that. Maybe Donovan Mitchell could have had a shout too if he was healthy.
I really haven't heard from him this year, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, so I think he's averaging 26 a game. Pretty similar stat line. Yeah, it's pretty similar stat line to Dame. It's just that
probably the health factor comes into.
He hasn't been super healthy. So, yeah, there's that. And then the West, the starters were LeBron James, KD, Nikola Jokic, Luka, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Thoughts on that? Any snubs that stick out to you?
It's tough to find a spot for him, but Anthony Edwards definitely, I think, should have been somewhere on that list.
That. Yeah,
definitely the tear that he's been on recently. Finally get the recognition that he deserves. I think he's always been a hooper, but I think a lot of people started noticing that this year with the Timberwolves finally being contenders. But I mean, Shai
it's impossible
is
to find.
Also,
it's impossible to find a spot. I think
he's not going to go over Luka. He's not going to go over Jokic. Not over KD. Yeah. I mean, LeBron. I mean, it's because it's LeBron. He's not even doing anything. I mean, it's just LeBron. So I mean, it's automatic. But if anything, it'd be a toss up with Shai. To be honest.
I think that's fair. And the bad thing is, I think it's because I think there's that. Maybe you could argue. Maybe Anthony Davis over LeBron, but again, you're not going to put Anthony Davis in over LeBron. It just kind of is. Is what it is. So, if I'm correct, the remaining All-Star players will be voted on by the coaches and announced here probably in the next week or so, I bet. Also, the Rising Stars Challenge is starting to be announced. Your Mavs, Derek Lively was one of the rookies that were named. I think some other rookies were Victor Wembanyama, Chet, the Mexican sensation Jaime Jaquez Jr. from Milwaukee. There's some other guys
from the Heat. He's from
That's
Miami.
the Heat.
Yeah.
And some other guys like that. So so those are some of the big guys that were named. So also All-Star content should be coming up here soon. But unless you have any final thoughts, that's the big three.
Yeah, that's all I got. Luka's still that guy.
He still is that guy. Yeah. So really, really quickly, we can hit on Cowboys and Rangers. There's a little bit of news coming out just in the next 5 minutes or so. Dallas Cowboys. So Jerry Jones. He claims that they are going all in this year, 2024, big year. Okay. I mean, I don't know.
We don't even have to spend that much time on it. Just show me that you're all in. I'm saying that we should pull a Rams, literally just go all the fuck in on everything. Fuck the cap space, take the luxury tax, take everything.
Yeah.
Draft picks, boom, out of here. All in. Okay, go ahead. And everyone's already making fun of it. By the trade deadline next year, it's gonna be like, I like my guys. And so
they're not gonna make.
I don't want to spend that much time on that poverty ass franchise or that shitty ass owner. So all in. Show us, Jerry Jones, that you're all in, please. Please.
And then that's the Cowboys. Still as positive as ever with them. And then the team that we are more positive about is still your reigning, defending World Series Texas champion or World Series champion Texas Rangers.
Yep.
What news we got coming out of Arlington? What do we got going on there?
Your World Series MVP had surgery today. Nothing to be worried about. He got his hernia. So that's what he was dealing with. I don't know if you guys remember. You could definitely tell that there was something, not feeling right with him. At least like when you could just tell by his facial expression. So got a hernia, and they thought that maybe him just not playing would be better. But then they found out, okay, maybe you're gonna need surgery for it. So he had surgery today. He should be fine for opening day. So nothing to worry about there. And if he misses a cut like first 2 weeks, it's fine. We got Zeke Durant out there. Yeah, we got Zeke Durant waiting out there.
Big Zeke Durant.
Just ready to crank it up. Other news, David Robertson, relief pitcher, signs for the Rangers. He's a little on the older side, 38. He did get traded
I didn't realize he was that old.
Yeah, he's 38. 38 or 36. One of those. That's a big difference. But he was a closer, but probably won't be a closer here. I mean, he's probably going to be a 6, 7, 8 inning guy. I mean, you give Leclerc the day off. He comes in, so forth. But that just adds another right-handed guy to your team, to your bullpen. And I think you only have like 1 or 2 guys in your bullpen that are lefties right now, which is Andrew Heaney and Cody Bradford. But there might going to have to be in your starting lineup. And you have Brock Burke. He didn't have the best year last year at all. Bochy had no faith in him. But the year before that, his rookie season, he had insane numbers. So I hope he gets back to his regular him because I was a really big fan of Brock Burke. So those are only 3 lefties. So should definitely try to be in the market of still another lefty. And I don't think anything else is going to happen with relievers with them. It's going to be trade deadline. And I think that's the best thing you could do with relief pitchers is just go ahead and trade for them at the deadline because it's just whether they're hot or not. That's literally how it goes. I mean,
that's basically and that's basically what we did with Chapman too.
Yeah, you just ride the hot hand. It's really hard for you to find a consistent reliever. I mean, like Josh Hader, that's going to be in the American League West now.
Yeah.
So we'll see plenty of him. Now looking forward to it. And your boy Ed Blondie re-signs again with the Rangers.
Like that.
Jankowski, baby. He's the team guy. He's like your what's his face? I forgot his name already.
Oh, Hedges?
He's like Austin Hedges. But this guy actually plays. He's a really good outfielder, and he hits for contact. He's going to find the holes.
Need it.
I mean, we lost Adolis Garcia, our guy, our ALCS MVP in the World Series. And this guy steps up and goes, I got you guys. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Strings in a couple hits, gets himself some ribbies. And he said it too. He's like, I just want to be here with the team. Whatever they need me to do, I'm going to do it. If I'm sitting at the bench all the time, doesn't matter. If they need me to pinch hit, pinch run.
Because he's pretty quick, whatever. Too. He can run. Yeah, he can run.
He's quick. He's fast. He's a lengthy boy. So props to him. I mean, that's what you need on the World Series team. All right, dude. No. Okay. Last thing. 7 out of the 8 arbitration eligible players did sign. The one person that did not sign was Adolis Garcia. He was asking for 6.9, but the team offered him 5. Yes. If you couldn't tell, I am the oldest and maturest here. Even though this guy's
Okay,
like
dude.
hitting 30s, pushing 30s.
Okay, bro. You gotta slow it down. You gotta slow it down. You gotta slow it down.
Nah, you want
You
to
can't say
play? We can
that.
play, bro. We can
That's
play.
too long. That's too far. That's too
Oh,
far.
that's too, oh, okay, cool. But yeah, so always they asked about they had their award ceremony, and he's like, huh? They didn't pay me, so it kind of like he was kind of being a little petty a little bit for sure, because he's like, hey, I kind of am the ALCS MVP. I have the most RBIs in the ALCS history,
Yeah.
and you couldn't give me another 2 mil maybe. But it looks like they're still confident they'll get something done eventually. I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's your MLB Texas Rangers news. Next thing you know, we're gonna be opening day in March against the Cubs.
Back in it, baby.
Back in it, dude. I'm itching for some baseball. I'm itching.
I'm ready. This is gonna be my first year. You know, not really first year because I was following them for the majority of the season last year, but yeah,
last
starting
year
to
you
going
were
through
pretty
spring
invested.
training.
Yeah.
Yeah, going through spring training stuff like that. So no, I'm pumped. I'm pumped, man. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be awesome.
So, but
yeah,
guys, I think unless Oliver, you have any final thoughts? Anything else you want to get off your chest before I end it up?
no, I'm good.
No,
I'm
deal.
good. I'm good.
Well, yes, guys. Thank you guys so much for listening. This has been another episode number 24 of Austin and Ollie Sports Podcast. Hit the subscribe button. Tell your friends. YouTube, hit the like button. Subscribe. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anything that you get your podcast on, we're there. So yeah, guys, seriously, interact with us on social media. Instagram is Austin_and_Ollie. TikTok is at Austin and Ollie. It will also be, if you're watching on YouTube, it's also right here on the screen too. So you can see that. You can see our personals. And all this stuff is also in the show notes. So, guys, thank you so much for listening. This has been another episode of Austin and Ollie Sports Podcast. We'll see you guys next week. Goodbye.